Do you want to improve at a quicker pace? Check out GITGUDRacing.com, where I'm offering the most accessible coaching sessions on the market.
Now for the track guide. For turn 1 I'm looking at the 100 meter board. I want to brake slightly before it, so ideally you will look at the 100 but at the same time look at this pole light, because whenever I'm meeting this light and I'm not seeing it anymore almost, I'm applying the brakes, so it's before the 100, braking hard initially, picking to 90, and then dropping and trailing while downshifting. And I'm always downshifting to second gear after I generated half of the rotation, let's say. So whenever I'm going around it and around it and around it, around here I'm using the downshift to second gear. Because if you're gonna downshift more quickly, then you will also turn at the same time and you will have too much oversteer on entry. So I'm waiting basically for the car to have less speed, so the speed of the car to decrease, and then I'm downshifting to second gear. And I want to apex late here. I don't want to meet the beginning of the curb, so whenever you're looking at this corner from the distance, you don't want to apex around here. This is gonna be way too early, so you want to delay it, still delay it, and around here, which is almost in the middle of the orange and white curb, I'm applying the throttle while in second gear. And in this lap, I put my right tires on the other part of the curb. So this is a line that you can take. I'm not sure if it's gonna be the faster line, but this is quite consistent to put this right tire on the right part of the curb and then going with the car in the middle of the curb and going over it, building up the throttle, using all the exit. And now for the next corner, I really want to put my car to the most left part of the track. So I really want to mount this curb. You see here that this grass, I've been going over it in the previous laps. You want to do the same thing. You won't get an off track because you want to open up this corner. And I'm braking almost in the middle of this curb. I'm applying the brakes. Don't brake too much. You just want to use the brakes to rotate the car. If you find yourself that the car slows down way too much and you have a lot of time to bring it back to the right side, it means that you use too much brakes. You just want to use the brakes here to rotate the car nicely and meet this curb. I'm going over it with my right tires because ideally I want to be here as close as I can to the white line, and I'm building up the throttle after the brake. And I use as a reference for braking the moment in which my steering wheel is straight, but also I plan to hit 100% throttle. So right now I'm building it to 75. Now I'm going to 100% and my steering wheel is straight. So when this happens, I know that I can apply the brakes because I did a lot of laps. I just know that this will be the sweet spot. So you can have either of these two markers, either the one in which you have your steering wheel straight, which will be a good marker to have since you will brake in the most efficient way when the steering wheel is straight, or whenever you hit the 100%, because after I hit it, I just keep it just a little bit more and then I'm applying the brakes and then I'm also turning. And you don't want to overslow the car. You really want to push this car forward towards the white line, so you let it roll to the white line like right now while trailing, and the moment you arrive here you will have a lot of grip because this track is cambered like this and you have a lot of grip to play with. And the moment that you feel the suspension loaded, it's the moment that you let go of the brakes and you go on throttle. You go on throttle confidently. I do here a small correction because I felt like I'm gonna push too wide, but look here, I had just a bit more space on the right side, so you definitely can push it more confident. However, this was a quite nice corner for me, so I'm not complaining. But right now this will be like a big straight, trying to do the least amount of steering angle possible to avoid overheating the front tires, because in the next corner, the high speed corner, if you're gonna overheat too much the tires because you're using too much steering angle in this straight, you will feel it. So using the least amount of steering angle, and right now I'm braking at the end of this curve right here. At the end of this curve, I'm applying the brakes. This will be like an early braking point, but it's better to brake earlier and softer than to brake later and harder, just because this car has a lot of weight and the weight transfer won't happen instantly. So it's gonna be a delay in which the car will respond to your inputs. And at least for my driving style and from my testing, I found that if I would brake just a bit later, I would miss the corner, so I would go wider because the inertia of the car pushed me and delayed me. So braking nice and early, don't peak too much, but also notice that while braking, I'm using this line around here. You can see the grass that I've go over it in the previous laps, because I really want to open up the next one. So while braking and trail braking, I'm going a bit left to come back to the right side. So it's subtle, but it's just a few degrees, because right now you see I'm going over this grass, and right now I have my left tires past the white line. This is important. And then while trailing, keep trailing, I'm trailing all the way in which I know that whenever I'm gonna put the power down, I will still be close to this white line, because I want to follow this white line and this curve. So I had just a bit more space here, and notice my correction under throttle. I did a small lift. I could have get away without the lift here. So this isn't much, it's maybe 0.01, 0.02, but it will add up. So try to use all the track. It's gonna be a bit difficult, but try to use it everywhere. Ideally, you will have the car a bit more on the left, because you will have enough time to reposition, even though you will have to move quickly, because right now, if you're not starting to turn left, at this point I have my steering wheel like this. If you won't start to turn left from this point, it's gonna be way too late. Later on, you're not gonna make it. So right now, turning left, because I want to cut this curve. I want to put my left tires on it, because ideally this is my checkpoint. I want to arrive at this kink right here. So at turn in, I want to be at this kink. Like right now, I'm applying the brakes as soon as I arrive to the kink. I'm staying in fourth gear. I don't want to downshift to third. I want to carry the minimum speed. So modulating with my brakes, as you can see here, I'm not letting off the brakes until I see that the car is pointing towards this curve, because I want to be as close as I can to this red sausage or orange sausage curve. If you're gonna apex a bit more to the left, you will lose a lot of time. So in these medium speed corners, let's call it high speed or medium speed, you really want to hit the apex on the head. If you're gonna miss the apex even by a small margin, you will lose a lot of time in these corners, because this will give you the best line. This is gonna be easier for you to get back on throttle, even though I understeer at this point. I'm using a lot of steering angle, so my steering wheel is like this. This is a bit too much. This was a cause of the brake release. I released the brakes a bit too quickly around here. I should have held them just a blink of an eye more, and the car would have pointed even more. But it is what it is. You can even go a bit over that curve and it will still be okay. Now, building up the throttle, you really want to hit 100. I had to do this correction here because it felt to me that I'm gonna go wide. However, you can use this curve on the left. So maybe do a smaller lift and try to be aware of the lift that you're doing and to minimize it around here, because you can use all this curve, which I'm using under braking, to open up the next corner. Now, for this corner, for the braking point, is not gonna be easy. I don't have a braking point for this. You can use the 50-meter board. It's gonna be the only thing that you can see right now, which can be like a brake marker. However, it's a bit weird to look at the 50 and then to look at the apex. So my eyes are on the apex, and I brake mostly on feel. You will have to do laps and just be mindful how long does it take for you to stay on 100% throttle or to stay on throttle, because right now when I'm at 100%, I just know that I have just few seconds to maintain this 100%. So I'm judging it mostly based on the previous laps. Difficult to find the brake marker. However, when going into this corner, you must be aware that the grip level is gonna be changing towards this corner. So right now on the initial braking, you have a lot of grip, so you want to peak to do your peak pressure right here. But then when you're turning more and more, this road goes a bit like this, so it's cambered to the left side, and the grip around here is so low that I have to do these corrections up and down on the throttle, because I'm feeling the rear is gonna snap. So whenever I feel like the rear is gonna snap, I'm just letting go of the brakes. But then when I feel like the car starts to understeer, I'm adding a bit more of the brakes. So not easy to do this corner. You will always be on your edge right now, because right now you have less grip, and when you get to this point, you have a lot of grip around this curb. So you have to be back on throttle. It's difficult to be super confident back on throttle, because the moment that you put the power down and you leave that curve, now the grip is gonna change again. So right now you have less grip until here. So you have to be aware that are these changes in grip levels in this corner, because otherwise you're gonna spin a lot. So your inputs must reflect the way that the track is doing. Basically, the grip levels are present here. So again, a lot of grip here, less and less grip towards here, more grip here, then less and less grip, then more grip again. So that's it with this corner. You can even go a bit more to the left and will still be okay. For this corner, however, it's gonna be difficult to find the right turning point, because you can't see past this pillar right here. So in VR that would have been a lot easier. I used to race in VR, and you just look a bit more. You just look a bit more to the left and you're gonna see it. But with the monitor, maybe if you have triples, it's gonna be easier. But right now I want to position my car so that it will arrive to this edge of the track. Then I want to brake in regards to this exit road on the right side. I'm not waiting for the car to arrive here. I just judge this distance. I'm braking around here. I'm pressing the brakes, and it's a long trail brake, and it's exactly like the previous corner with the grip level. You will have less grip while going in towards the corner, but whenever you're at the apex, you will have a bit more grip, and on the exit you will have less grip again. However, I turned in a bit too early, and as a result I noticed that if I'm gonna maintain the throttle, I will go wide, so I have to drop the throttle and then pick it up again. Big mistake. Probably was around here 1.5 tenths just by doing this. So you will have to find the right turning point. It's gonna be a lot easier if you can see past this pillar, then it's gonna be easier. Now going into the heavy braking zone, I use as a reference for braking this curb right here, but I'm looking at it, but I'm braking at the 100 probably, but I'm not looking at the 100, even though I'm braking at the 100, right? I'm used to look at the curb based on the other cars that I've driven. It's for me it's a better reference, but probably this is gonna be the most objective reference. Brake at the 100, initial braking, peak hard initially. Then I want to bring the car a bit more to the left side, so I want to use this curb on the left before turning. So I'm putting my left tires on it while braking, trailing, still trailing. And you're gonna trail to the point that you're gonna kiss this curb, almost touch the orange sausage curb right here, going over it a bit and being back on throttle. And this corner has 4 stages. The first stage is the initial braking. Now second stage, going back on throttle, give it a blimp of throttle. Now you're gonna brake again. This is gonna be the third stage with just a bit of trail brake to make the car point, and the fourth stage going back again on throttle. So this is something that you should have. I've looked in telemetry comparing with other drivers, and I've seen something like this. So everyone is doing at a higher level, everyone is doing something similar in terms that they're braking, going back on throttle, braking again, and then back on throttle. If you find yourself that you don't need this throttle input around here, maybe you're shooting the car too hot into the corner, and then you're understeering on exit, so you can't be back on power and you will just have to maintain the brakes. And you're probably gonna lose some time because this blimp of throttle is gaining you a lot. And it's also nice if you don't understeer, so you will also have a better exit run here as well. Now, going into the last corner, I use as a reference for braking this dip in the track. This is a moment in which the track goes like this and the suspension is getting loaded. Slightly before it, or exactly at it, but in my mind it's like one moment before it, I'm applying the brakes. I know that at this moment in time I have a lot of grip because of the compression, so I'm not afraid to brake and turn at the same time while doing it. I'm trailing to this curb and then I'm getting back on throttle. I'm modulating it a bit because it's not easy to do like an on-off switch in this corner. You can easily do a small mistake and end up in the gravel. But using all the track on the exit, and right now taking the shortest path towards the finish line. And in short, that's a track guide for Zandvoort in the Porsche Cup. I wish you a great week ahead and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.